Hey everybody, welcome to Rabbit's Closet. It's the middle of the night again. So yesterday I did this live stream and I had to stop it. I wanted to talk about Britney. I had to stop it because my son came home early from school. It was like I forgot that some days they come home a little bit early because usually he has soccer after school or whatever. Because I'm a bad mom and I don't know what day is what. And he walked in and he almost saw all the presents. Thank goodness it was mostly just dad's presents that were out. I am wrapping. I love these like daughter, especially like cute. I'm trying to figure out the way to like separate them out as best as possible so it looks like a lot more presents. Because that's how I do it. Okay. So yesterday I was telling you all that I want to do a 12 days of Christmas thing, which I'm like really excited about. And I want to talk about like each day I'll pick something that I really like and it'll be like some of my favorite things, right? I'm gonna say something. And I think the first one I'm going to do is 80s. Because if you guys don't know, my kids, well, Jack especially, is obsessed with the 80s, right? Like we had to do his bedroom 80s style. This just started like after we moved here to Africa. I don't know why. For Halloween, he wanted to dress as an 80s guy. And he carried like a big radio. We actually got him like a big like 80s radio to carry around like listening to it on his shoulder. It was so cute. And then we like tried to do our basement kind of like 80s theme for him, put up like, I'm not even going into it, all these posters of like 80s movies that we all love. And, you know, he's been like really excited. So I think that's what I'll do for my first 12 days of Christmas. I'm excited about that. I think I'm going to do a second 12 days of Christmas about one of my subscribers. Her name is Ivana. And she loves Prince. She loves him. And she has like so many, I just actually really love her. She has such a good vibe, like such a good soul. And I know she likes to come, Ivana, if you're listening, I know you like to come to my lives, but you can't come when I do them in the middle of the night. I'm sorry. I will eventually do one for you. You are so amazing. Today has also been like super crazy because today is the day that my daughter is starring in her play at school. She struggled a lot like transitioning here, but like the one really bright spot at the school has been doing this drama performance. So they've been doing it during school and after school. So once this is over, like, I don't know what she's going to do with her life, you know? And oh my gosh, I was able to get her these really nice flowers. Can you see? So cute. I can't wait for her to get them because it's hard to get stuff like that here. So after the performance, I will give that to her as well. All right, I am going to talk a little bit about this live stream video that I made about Britney Spears because last time, yesterday, when I put up the live stream and it was only like 10 minutes long or 20 minutes long because I had to go because of Jack, I was talking about my most recent video about Lynn Spears and how it absolutely rocked my world that Lynn Spears has taken out these restraining orders on a bunch of just like random people who are fans of Britney or have worked, they're employees of Britney that she doesn't want to be able to talk. I mean, she took one out on Sam Lufty, which we kind of, I think most people that's kind of famous, like know that Lynn took out a restraining order on him. But this other guy, Jacob Diamond, I feel like nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows that Lynn is out there like bothering him, taking restraining orders out on him. And very few people know the story. So I put together this whole video about it. And yesterday I talked a little bit about that. Hi, Pussycat, good to see you. Yesterday I talked a little bit about that, but to me that video is insane. I cannot believe that there are all these like Southern belles out there to your face being like, hey y'all, Merry Christmas. And then the moment that they do something extra shitty to you and you post about it on your social media, they literally go to their court system and take a restraining order out on you. That's what Lynn has been doing because Jacob Diamond was friends with Lynn for over like 3 years, you guys. Not even just friends. He was paying for her to get Botox. You can go into the video and see how they developed this friendship. But he had some money, right? Like his family has some money. He lives in Texas. They have a horse farm. But he's in and out of like LA all the time because he wants to be like an actor. And he's been an extra in a lot of different shows. And so like he formed this friendship with Lynn. They're hanging out all the time. He's buying all of Lynn's Rodan and Fields so she can make her quota. Okay, like a thing. She can make her quota so she doesn't like I don't know everything about MLMs, but I think it's like you have a monthly or quarterly quota of how much you have to sell to stay at a certain level because you want to keep progressing and progressing, getting all those stars, you know. And Lynn wants to stay at whatever level she's at. So she would like call her friends and be like, can you order more? So, allegedly, right? According to Jacob, and he brought receipts in court, like he's buying all this shit from her. He's paying for her to get Botox. Like he's doing this like IV drips for her. He's just doing so much shit for her, right? And then the shit hits the fan. This is what happens, you guys. And it's detailed like very specifically. And I read the affidavit and everything in the video I made about it. But here I'm just going to tell you. Jacob and Lynn end up having where all of Lynn's friends are there. It's all about Lynn. It's like Lynn's inner circle. A lot of them sell Ronan and Big Party at like a mansion. I don't know if it was in Texas or Louisiana, but they're having this big party. It's kind of like a birthday party for a friend of Lynn's. They're always doing this shit, right? And it seems like Jacob's always getting like pulled into paying for stuff. But anyway, I don't know if he paid for this party or not, but he's at the party. And long story short, there's a little kid there who asks why Jacob is like with this guy because Jacob is gay. And Jacob says like at first he tried to kind of ignore it and like play it off like it was a joke. And then finally he said, well, it's because it's my boyfriend, because the kid kept following them around and asking questions like any kid would do. And allegedly, according to Jacob, the kid completely freaked out because, you know, this is a child of one of the friends of Lynn, and they all seem to be very Southern and religious and all that crap. And the kid, according to Jacob, freaked out and started saying, you're going to hell. Like, gay people can't be in this home. Just, you know, I mean, it's just a kid. No fault of the kid, you know. But he said that it was pretty extreme. And because this was happening, like in this, it was like a mansion that they're having a party in. He left where the kid was and started like walking to find the people who's like Lynn and her best friends. He goes and finds them and is like, hey, like, I'm going to have to go, like, you know, whatever, this is uncomfortable. And I tried not to say anything to the girl, but she kept asking and asking. And then all of a sudden the girl's dad, who's also a friend of Lynn, comes up behind Jacob and is like, you better fucking never talk to my daughter again, blah, 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 blah. Like just really upset. And then he goes, and gays do go to hell, right? And they kind of like have a verbal altercation sort of thing where the guy keeps yelling at Jacob. And then Jacob leaves with his partner, okay? That's the end. So basically, Jacob got treated like a piece of trash by Lynn and her friends, right? Now, I understand some people would be like, well, I don't agree with people being gay either. You know, I do. I'm very supportive of it. But I also respect people's rights to feel that way, okay? Same that I feel, right? So for me, like, I think it's sad, but I'm also like, I mean, when it comes to like the kid or whatever, I'm not going to be like, well, you have to teach your kid differently. Like, I mean, some people just don't feel the way that I feel, right? But of course, like, just like I'm sure all of you, if you had a child, and whether or not you were like super liberal or super conservative, if you had a child that you love more than anything and they told you that they were gay, ultimately, even if you wanted them to change, even if you didn't agree with it, the one thing you would want is for people to treat them respectfully. You know, it would kill you to know that people are like following them around and being like, you're going to hell, you know? I mean, that is just a horrible situation to imagine someone that I love being in, whether I agree with it or not. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. So, yeah, so he goes home to Texas, and I think it was like several weeks. He's kind of going home, dealing with his life, being like, I guess these women really aren't my friends. Hi, Amash Shafi. Good to see you. Yeah, it's like the middle of the night. So I'm sorry you kind of tuned it, but this is the only time that I really have. Remember yesterday I tried to do it later and my son came like running in looking at all the presents. So I got to do what I got to do. Okay. So Jacob Diamond goes home, and this is all detailed in the video. He goes home to Texas and he gets back into his apartment with his husband. They're interesting too. You can find them on social media. I put all their stuff up on the video, but like, you know, it's like they're hanging out in this little apartment in Texas, but they also have a huge furniture store. And I think that's also why Lynn was so into them. They had money. They were running a furniture store. Like Jacob hangs out with people in Hollywood. Now that's questionable because he has all these pictures of himself with like Paris Hilton's mom, Lisa Rinna. But some people have come out and said like, yeah, he knows them, but not like that. They're not like friends. So who knows? He's kind of like a guy who really wants to be in Hollywood, but isn't quite there yet. You know what I mean? But anyway, I like Jacob. Like I think he's funny on his social media. He has an Instagram and he's always posing and trying to look hot. And I just think it's really funny. You're in the UK. Okay, so then this is perfect for you. Great. I'm glad that you're here. I'll do this every night and you just show up. How about that? So yeah. Okay, so Jacob goes back to Texas. He's back with his husband, and all he does, you guys, I'm not kidding you, he just posts on his Instagram a very short little paragraph. And he puts up a picture of everybody that was there that night at the party, like all sitting around eating dinner, and Lynn is in the picture. A bunch of other women are too, right? And he just writes this short post that was like, this is the night that I realized I was having dinner with Satan. And then he goes on to say like, Satan was brewing a terrible result when I made friends with these people or whatever. Just like a silly, like, I'm angry at these people post. No one knows who he is. No one cares, right? And Lynn, literally weeks afterwards, took a restraining order out on him for that post on Instagram, as well as like tried to file a defamation lawsuit. Okay. And she did this all in Louisiana, right? So, I mean, Jacob, he was like, what the hell, and he starts talking about it like on his social media because he's like, this is bullshit. How dare you? I'm allowed to post what happened. He didn't even say, at that point, he had not said, Lynn's homophobic. Her and her friends. Yes, this is Lynn Spears. This is all about Lynn Spears. So Lynn took out a defamation lawsuit on Jacob for, like, she had been friends with him for 3 years. He had been paying for all her shit. But she was like, oh my God, it's going to get out in the media that someone that I knew didn't like gay people, even though he didn't really even post that. He just put a picture of all these people. I would never even notice Lynn was in the picture, even if I was following him. Nobody knows who he is. So she takes a restraining order out on him. Well, come to find out through my research, this is a pattern for Lynn. She takes out restraining orders anytime someone is like, hey, I was around when you were doing that to Britney and I'm going to let the world know. Then she takes out a restraining order on them. So it silences them. And I guess so every state is different. This is something that I realized recently because I had someone try to take a restraining order out on me. Just someone who watches my show. Every state is totally different. Okay. And some states, it's just really easy to get a restraining order in, and other states, it's not. She wasn't able to do it. I don't have a restraining order, but it went on forever. And I couldn't believe the shit that happened. But anyway, the point of it all is that when I saw that Lynn did this, I was like, oh, of course, another state where you can take out a restraining order for someone just stating their opinion about you on the internet. Like, that's all he did, right? Okay. Now, because Lynn was like, I think we're restraining order out on you, Lynn also did this with all of her friends. So some of the people who were in the picture, not all of them, but some of them joined her in the defamation suit against him, okay? So now Jacob has to figure out what he's going to do, and he starts talking about it on social media, and he's like, hey, like, I need to get an attorney. I think he started to GoFundMe for an attorney. And then he ended up like canceling the GoFundMe because someone came forward and offered to do it pro bono for him. And then he tried to, of course, like, I get this. He tried to be like filing that it wasn't his jurisdiction, like that Lynn should have to come to Texas because that's where he lives. But the court ignored that and made him come to Louisiana. So, of course, it's like, this is such a perfect setup for Lynn Spears. She can force people to come to Louisiana. If they don't, they automatically get the restraining order. She can just walk in. She doesn't have to pay anything. She just files it. She just writes up something and files it, right? Okay. So she files this thing on Jacob Diamond. All these creators on TikTok start talking about it, right? And they're all saying, like, they have a little bit of a legal background, and they're like, there's no way she can get this restraining order. This is freedom of speech. Jacob didn't do anything. And Jacob, behind the scenes, he sends them like some of his receipts. So one thing that happened is that Lynn Lynn had included Jacob in a group chat with all these other women, okay, that were in this inner circle. Allegedly, everything allegedly. You make your own opinions, okay? This could be a false story for all you know. Allegedly. But the creators have seen the group chats. Okay, the group chats, right? It's like Lynn and all these women, they revolve around Lynn because Lynn's like the star, right? That's a feeling I get. She uses her daughter's name to be the star of all this. Pussycat says, look at the karma. The dad had one leg and she has to go back to work. Yeah, thank you. It's true. Finally, karma. That's so funny. Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. And that was like after some of this happened. So yeah. Okay, great. So, okay. So it's like they have these group chats. In the group chats, like Lynn's whole thing in the group chat, it's like she's basically constantly talking about how broke she is. Like it's all about making money, getting people to buy Rodan and Fields, and shitting on Britney Spears. They're shitting on Britney because it was around this time that Jacob was in the group chat that Britney had started like speaking out about her mom and saying like, my mom contributed to this conservatorship. Like she was putting some Instagram posts up. So allegedly, according to Jacob, people have seen the screenshots. Allegedly, Lynn literally told everyone they need to pick between her and Britney. And she was like, what that means is you cannot be a Britney fan and be my friend or whatever. Literally, this is allegedly what she said to Jacob. And one of the reasons, and like, then, okay, let me take a deep breath. I'm so disgusted by this, that there are people out there who live their lives like this, obsessed with controlling the shit out of everyone, and they're never allowed to speak on their own experience with you. Like Jacob just experienced some shitty things with you and your friends, and he just wanted to make a simple post about it on Instagram, and he didn't even point you out. He didn't even say your name. And you are so wrapped up in yourself that you literally were like stalking his social media, found it, like probably got in the group chat, sent it to everyone. Everyone freaked out, and you guys got a lawyer and did all this shit in Louisiana. Yes, there's definitely something in Louisiana water. What is it about people from Louisiana and a couple of other states too? Because I've been through it with some of these people, right? Okay, so, all right, so like Lynn's saying all this crazy shit in these group chats, right? And I think, now that's why I think she immediately, as soon as she saw that post, was like, I gotta get a restraining order, because she knows that Jacob has access. He has the tea, you guys. Jacob knows what she's been up to for 3 years now. You know, he knows, okay? So he has to go to court. He's got this lawyer who said that he would do it pro bono. Okay. If you watch my video, you'll see all the shit that happened. Like, I think it's hilarious that things were happening. Like Lynn Spears would show up like 3 hours late for court. Jacob, who had to come from Texas, would show up on time. And Lynn never got punished for it. I've seen this before. The court system is effing broken, you guys. I just look at my thing about P. Diddy, what I've been through over the past couple of years, like never having gone to court before, never having had a problem. Like our court system is broken, right? So anyway, you know, okay, let's see. Does Lynn ever date? Oh my God. I ask myself that all the time. I believe she's asexual and she would only date for money, but that's just my opinion. I wonder what Lynn did with all the money. 100%. That's another big question that I have, because she got a shitload of money and she sold all those books, you guys. Trust me, I am trying my hardest to research some of this. I don't have an answer for you yet. Didn't she get something like $350K annually while Jamie was in charge? Yes. I put that in my video. Yes. Now, some of that went to like fixing, I don't know, like if a light bulb went out in her mansion and they had to hire someone to come and do it because she cannot lift an effing finger. Allegedly. Right? Okay. So getting back to all this, Jacob's like waiting in the court and Lynn's supposed to come and like they're waiting 3 hours. All this shit is happening. In Lynn's affidavit, she literally put, I don't even really know this guy. And then Jacob like submits all these text messages, all these pictures and videos of them hanging out at his house in Texas, of her riding like horses on his family's farm. You know what I mean? Yeah, but back then she didn't have the famous daughter, Pussycat. I think things have changed. You know what I mean? But yeah, she definitely didn't know how to pick them back then. 2 to $5 million that she's worth. I wonder if that's because of Serenity, though. And she would have to liquidate it. If she liquidate, that's the other thing. Okay, so I'm still going down the rabbit hole on this, right? But I think when it comes to the mansion that Britney gave her, it's also in Britney's name. So I don't think she can fully liquidate it. And that's where I think she's stuck, you guys. Yeah, she has a multi-million-dollar mansion that she could sell, but she may not be the one who gets the money from it. So I think she's just living in this huge mansion that she can't afford to take. Can you imagine? Like, and not even that she can't afford to take care of it, but Jamie said like a big part of what they were doing is they had to pay for maids and stuff. So it's not even like she couldn't take care of it. She just doesn't want to. She doesn't want to clean it, you know, allegedly. That's my opinion, right? Okay, so Jacob goes to Louisiana, goes to the court system. Okay, according to people, I'm not kidding you. This is no joke. According to people who are at the court, these are creators, social media creators. I put their videos in the video that I made about this. According to them, literally, the judge was like an older person. And they literally said repeatedly, I have no idea what social media is. And I don't even know what kind of message is this? I don't even know what this is, you know, because they're presenting like these text messages, Facebook messages. I don't even know social media. I don't know what's going on here. So to begin with, and I've seen this before, and I totally get it. My, family would be the same. They literally don't understand what they're dealing with. This is a civil case, which means you don't have to prove everything 100%. You just kind of have to go in and make the judge believe you 60%. And for a lot of judges, they just want to be safe rather than sorry when it comes to restraining orders, right? So some places are going to be very quick to give them out. Now, I've worked with people who are getting the shit beaten out of them by, a man in their life, and they couldn't get a restraining order. So don't ask me why. In some states it's one way, and in other states it's not. I know that's what's fucked up about our court systems, right? So anyway, he gets in there, and the judge is apparently like, I don't even know what's going on here, y'all. Just very, like, that judge could have been Lynn Spears. Like, they were very similar, is what is said by the creators who were there, right? And then the judge literally said something that I find really weird. She said to Jacob, she goes, why can't you just leave these women alone? They just want to be left alone, or whatever, or something. And Jacob was like, I'm not filing the restraining order on them. Like, I've never, we had a breakup. I went back to Texas. I've had nothing to do with them. They're the ones who brought me here to Louisiana to this court to see you. So, like, people who were there were like, this is the most ridiculous trial. Okay, so everybody was like, the judge is going to throw this out. This is bullshit. She doesn't have any, a case, a leg to stand on. That's what they were saying. This is all allegedly based upon the social media creators who said that they were there getting this information. Okay. All right. So then by the end of the court date, the judge gave him the restraining order. The judge gave him a restraining order, which allegedly says that, like, he has to stay 100 feet away from Lynn and, like, not talk about her or something. And I think Jacob was just kind of like, oh, well, like, what can I do? Like, I have no reason to come back to Louisiana. I only ever came to, like, hang out with her. Whatever. And he went back to Texas. Now, they weren't able to go through with the defamation suit because it's so much harder to do that. Like, you have to prove something for that. But the restraining order was just doled out to him. Now, I think that Lynn's, let me just give it the other perspective. Lynn's claims are like, Jacob is a undercover Britney Spears fan who infiltrated my group of friends, and he did that just so that he could use everything on his social media. That's her perspective. Now, if you go look at my video, like, it doesn't look that way to me. Like, look at the text, the text exchanges, the fact, all these videos and pictures of Jacob, like, taking Lynn out, and then having Lynn actually go to the court and in the affidavit be like, I barely know him. No, not at all. Let's see. Money buys influence. Yeah, that was what a lot of the creators were saying. They were like, they felt that people in the court were like, oh, Lynn Spears, Britney Spears' mom, you know? And that also, I think that a judge can be influenced by the idea like, oh, poor little girl, poor Lynn, old lady who just wants to be left alone, you know, and not look at like the sociopathic things that Lynn is doing. Okay, because, and that's the video that I have to share with you today. A big part of, I think, why Lynn was really pissed off about all this is that I think it was like shortly before she took out the restraining order, I think. Somehow, now could it have been Jacob that, you know, gave this information? Somehow, the Daily Mail in the UK, they wouldn't run it in the United States, but in the UK, they got all this information of collecting and selling Britney Spears' old clothes, toys, whatever. And the article showed like pictures. I mean, Lynn went on to completely deny this, but according to like the local thrift shop who was selling this stuff, they're like, oh yeah, Lynn's made like thousands of dollars off of this. Allegedly. Okay, we're gonna take a look at some of that. First, let me pull this up. Let me make this bigger. Okay. All right, it's a little loud. Let me see if I can put it down. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that this is Britney right now. She is out on a yacht with her new boyfriend, and she's putting up these like social media posts. Her body always looks amazing. I know a lot of people will be like, oh my God, she's so crazy. Look at her. She looks so different. Okay, for one thing is that if people were really trying to create a fake Britney, they would make her look exactly like how Britney Spears would look. I think it makes more sense that she doesn't look the same as she used to look. There's a lot of shit that's going on with her. So I always hear people say like, that doesn't even look like Britney. That's not her. It's like people change as they get older. Okay. She has a new boyfriend. She's back like going to the island. She loves to like go to all these different, you know, beach vacations. This is her new boyfriend. I'm looking into some stuff about him. I just want to say, like, as much as you might be like, she looks crazy, like, she also seems happy. Like, I just get really tired. Britney Spears isn't doing anything like walking into a 7-Eleven and holding someone hostage and taking all the money. She's not so crazy. It's not like an example of where Amanda Bynes was like, walking on the street naked and like tried to light someone's dog on fire. Like that is clearly where you need to step in and perhaps even use a conservatorship to help that person for a period of time. It's like Britney is using her own money to go out and do what she wants to do with people that she's chosen to have in her life. Now we can look at it and say, that guy's not good for you. You could do much better. But it's like, it's not us. This is her life. This is her money. Like leave her alone. Yes, I think she's 42, Pussycat. You know what I mean? And she's been through a lot. And I know, like, one thing I will say is I understand that her sons, they appear to be very disappointed, right? Like, they don't feel like she's been a very good mom or active in their life, and they're worried about her. I get that. That's the sad part of it. I do think that Britney is someone who chooses freedom over like babying her children at all times. And that might be hard for some people who want to be like, you know, they want to criticize her about the way that she's a mom. I also think she had the boys ripped from her when they were pretty young, and they've kind of been groomed and raised to think that she is crazy, right? The thing that I've always said in all my videos is like, look at everyone around her. Like Kevin Federline is no angel. Her parents are not the best people. I wanted to show this. Let me push it back a little bit.
And don't you ever forget what they did when you needed them the most.
That's from one of her posts. She's like, don't you ever fucking forget what they did when you needed them the most. And it's like in her British accent. And of course people are like, she's crazy, but I kind of get it. Do you know what I mean? Am I alone here? Okay, I think after everything Britney has gone through, it's a big effect on her body and mind. I had a breakdown 6 years ago, and my body and mind are not the same. I probably come across as crazy. And I can relate in so many ways, okay? Because it's like, yeah, I mean, and we're allowed to have, I've had mental health issues my whole life. I talk about it all the time on my channel. Depression is a real thing for me. I battle it. And it's just like, we're allowed to have these issues. And, you know, when you get into being in your 40s, I talked about this before, like, I know I'm premenopausal. There's a lot of ups and downs with my hormones. There are things that are really hard it affects my behavior. It affects the way that I act. If you also had like maybe a bipolar disorder, or you were using alcohol or drugs or whatever, it's going to affect you. Like, that doesn't mean you deserve to be locked up, throw away the key, take away all your money, separate your children from you. Nobody else has that done to them because they don't have millions of dollars. But because Britney has millions of dollars, they took everything away and called her crazy. They drive her crazy. Yeah. She never had stability. Brainwashed about the kids, I think. And yeah, I think that that's partially true. I do think that they have some reason to be concerned. Like, I believe that they probably go to her house and she's dancing around like half naked, and trying to be a good mom at some times, and like other times just acting weird. And they are probably like, oh, I'm just so worried about her. I get it, and I'm sure that they love her and that's hard. But like, not everybody is going to be like the stay-at-home, bake cookies kind of mom who never yells at you. Britney like worked hard her whole life. She's definitely a sex symbol. That's a part of like who she is. So like I was watching all this shit from Britney like in her prime, from her tours. Like, I believe that Britney always has been hypersexual. I think that was a big part of her charm towards everyone around her, and the way that she became such a massive star. I know that there's a book that Lynn wrote where she talks about Britney was like drinking, doing drugs, and having sex at age 13. To me, it indicates something happened to her when she was younger. I think that she's always been hypersexualized by whatever kind of trauma she went through. This is a part of who she is. It's not a crime. Men love taking advantage of it. We've seen all kinds of men with her, and I think that that's just a part of who she is. And, whether or not she there's ways she could work on it or treat it if she wanted to, but if she doesn't want to, that's her choice. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, we are going to listen to this. I'm going to make it big so you guys can see it. This is a video I found. It's all about Lynn Spears selling Britney's clothes. Okay, let me just back it up a tiny bit. Okay, I know it's kind of loud. I'm going to take...
From Lynn Spears, aged like milk. Less than an hour after Lynn Spears posted this to her Instagram addressing Britney Spears saying, "I would never get rid of your stuff," Daily Mail posted an exclusive proving that Lynn Spears has been selling Britney Spears' old clothing for profit. Exclusive. Britney Spears insiders accuse her estranged mom Lynn of selling her daughter's belongings for profit for years, as images reveal the pop star's outfits being sold online in a local Louisiana consignment store. Oops. Apparently, she's been selling Britney Spears' old clothes for 5 years. She started doing it in 2018, and it's at some place in Kentwood called Connie's Jewelry and Gifts. And that is owned by Britney's childhood friend. The insider says that Lynn has made thousands of dollars in profit on this, and that Britney has no idea. The items up for sale include things Britney wore on tour, things she wore on TV appearances, award shows, etc. One of those items is this jacket from the Femme Fatale tour. Here's a picture of Lynn.
Myself. Okay, see this picture? This is a picture of Lynn with one of the people who was involved in the lawsuit. Her name is Tatum. I'm just going to put out there that someone contacted me, my tiny little channel with like 1,000 views, telling me that I can't talk about this, telling me that they're connected to Lynn. So I'm not going to say who it was, but, take a look at these two together. Look at that face on Tatum there. Does that seem like the kind of woman who would take out a restraining order on somebody for saying that, they had Satan's dinner? To me, it does.
Spears with one of her best friends, Tatum. And Tatum is not only wearing Britney's clothes, but then later helped Lynn sell them online. And as a side note, Tatum actually works for Lynn because Lynn runs an MLM and Tatum's one of her people. They're selling this red hat that Britney wore here. Here's a picture of it in Connie's shop. In addition to selling items in the consignment shop, Lynn has also been selling them online, but Tatum has been making the listings for her. For instance, Tatum's helping her sell these boots for $70. Nice of her to model them as well. And above me, you can see more from the online listing for those boots that Tatum listed. And you can see that they're using pictures of Britney to sell the items. They're also selling this top that Britney wore on TRL, as pictured here. The Daily Mail exclusive also alleges that Lynn is doing private sales of these things too that aren't being listed online, and that Britney has been dumping clothes at her house for years. Look, here's a receipt of Tatum listing Britney's clothes. Of course, she likes to try out their goods before she sells them. They're selling Britney's jeans and using pictures of her, and at one point wanted to sell these Tom Ford sunglasses for $400. I don't know how much they cost, but I'm guessing Britney bought them. Daily Mail says Lynn has plenty more where that came from. This is apparently a picture of a closet in Lynn's house with a lot of Britney's old clothes. So even though she says in this post, I would never do that to you, Britney, kind of sounds like she would. Well, this post from Lynn Spears aged like milk. Less than an...
Okay. All right. Okay, I love these comments. This is a really good comment. Dollyhood says, I love your name as well. They're just doing that to women. Nobody's taking away Kanye's money. I know. I think they said that Kim was like interested in trying and then she didn't do it, which I have respect if she made that choice, because like people shouldn't do that to other. I mean, Kanye is crazy. He has bipolar disorder. I love Kanye. People hate me for that. I think I love people who are fucking weird, you know, who say shit that makes everybody upset, who say shit that nobody else would say. I don't agree with like half of what he says and what he does, and yet I just love the guy. I think I could chill with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be into listening to him talk about his conspiracy theories. So anyway, I was glad that they didn't take out a conservatorship on him, but like, I don't know if it was a choice or they just weren't able to do it. Like, you're right. Men seem to be skating by and getting away with it. And then I love this comment. Imagine them doing that to Matthew Perry. Yeah, Matthew Perry, it's so sad. He passed away. No one took out a conservatorship on him. And Dollyhood says he was spending millions on rugs. To me, that's like something you should get a conservatorship for. Or like, you take out a restraining order. The rugs take out a restraining order on Matthew Perry. Stop. The rug store takes out a restraining order on Matthew Perry. Okay, I also love Emoshi's comment here. They both have Karen vibes. Yes, that's like exactly what I was thinking. Instead of I want to speak to the manager, I want to speak to the judge. Yeah, and like I always assume, because I've never been to court for anything, I always assumed that like courts were run really fairly. Such an idiot. And like that you can take advantage of things like Karen's. I'm telling you, Karen's effing run the court system, the civil court system in our country. I have gone down the rabbit hole and they run that bitch. They run it. That's the only way that the courts get any kind of play, is like the Karens constantly taking people to court, I guess. I don't know. I mean, obviously there are times that you need to take people to court. I mean, but okay. You know, Lynn's bullshit stuff, it's like, it's way to take advantage of a system that's set up to, it's supposed to help real victims, people who are getting the shit beat out of them. You know, like, just, it's insane to me. It's so disgusting. Okay, Tom Ford at least 300. Okay, Kardashians sell consignment, their friend. Oh, yeah. Okay. Are you talking about Cece? Oh, yes. Okay, Cece is the cousin of the Kardashians. I was thinking about a different Cece, but yeah. She's the cousin of the Kardashians, and she makes that website, and they do the consignment. Yeah, so, like, one thing I would say is, like, when it comes to Lynn Spears, I could understand if there could be, like, a situation, because this happens, and I remember I did it to my grandparents, like, you go off to college, like Britney went off and started touring, and you'll go home and you'll just like dump all this stuff you don't really want to take care of, like at the house where you grew up. And apparently she was doing that at Serenity. She would take like stuff over there. And so I can kind of understand that at some point a parent might be like, look, I got to get rid of some of this stuff. But I think it's the fact that she was making all this money off of Britney, tons and tons of money. And now it's like she's broke. She has to go back to work and she's selling Britney's old stuff. That's what makes it weird and gross, right? Now, that's all allegedly, because of course, Lynn came back. Check out my video. I've got all the pictures there. Lynn came back on social media, went on her Instagram and said, oh, y'all, I would never sell even an ounce of my darling daughter's stuff. You know what I mean? She posted pictures. She's like, I have all your journals. I have all your dolls. Because Britney had literally posted like, I went home to Serenity and all my stuff was gone or whatever. And she's like, I have it. And she shows all these pictures. really weird dolls, and then like one journal sitting on a bed. But, you know, I mean, it's like, who's to say that's really the stuff that Britney was looking for, number one. Number two, who's to say you didn't run to the consignment shop and get it back, or have your friends like Tatum bring it all back to you so you could take pictures of it? Who knows? But when you add up all the pieces of the puzzle that I've brought you about Lynn, you get a picture of someone who, in my opinion, is not a good person. And it helped me to understand why, more than this just being like, oh, Britney has mental health issues, it's like her family's effed up. Like, you know, she doesn't even have like a safe place to go to. I don't think that she would see her mom as a safe person. This is all my opinion. You watch it yourself, decide what you want to think about Lynn Spears. I'm sure she'll be taking me to court next. But, you know, that's ridiculous. We should all be able to say what we think, and then people make their own choices about it. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to Lynn, I'm sure there are good things about her too. Like, for example, even if she pushed the hell out of her kids and used them, even if she did, she still gave them a better life than they probably would have had just growing up in Kentwood, Louisiana, like never having a job that made a lot of money. I mean, there's a lot of things. Every parent has their good and their bad pieces, but I'm just going to say that when you go forward and put Britney Spears into a conservatorship, be ready for people to start looking at things, second guessing. And when your daughter, Britney, comes out many times and is like, I don't want to be in this conservatorship anymore, and you just sit on your ass, like, people are going to start looking into what you were doing, right? Another big part of this whole restraining order situation that was absolutely insane is that you got to watch my video about it, but Jacob tried to say to the court, Lynn is a public figure, therefore I'm allowed to post about her. This is like a whole legal thing. Do you know that the court was like, no, she's not. No, she's not, y'all. Like, the judge decided that Lynn was not a public figure. Now, I could understand if she was just Britney Spears' mom and she never ever did interviews or wrote 3 books about Britney or was all over social media or did what, I mean, they were like, no, she's not a public figure. I was like, what the F is wrong with this court system? I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. It's like Lynn found a court that's going to play her games, and she's taking advantage of it. This is one of the restraining orders that she's taken out. One. There are others. Hi. Good to see you. It's like the middle of the night. Good to see you, though. Let's see. Lynn was the ultimate stage mom. Yeah, I mean, I know that. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate of like, well, I mean, if you want to look for like, I mean, because I'm going to be honest with you. This is my personal thing. Like, I didn't grow up in a perfect situation at all. And yet, as I've gotten older, I'm really able to be like, okay, you know, there were good things, there were bad things, there are things I forgive, there are things that I carry with me. You just do the best you can. And also now that I'm a mom, I'm like, I try my ass off. I try, you know, to be the best mom that I could possibly be. But I fail in certain ways. And when my kids come to me one day and they're like, you hurt me by doing this, you hurt me by doing that, I'm just going to be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I love you. If I could fix it, you go back and change it, I'm sorry. You know, I do the best I can every day. So when I think of all that, I do want to give people some grace, right? Like, I want to expose this about Lynn because she silenced all these people, right? That's why I'm here. I'm exposing something that I guess in the United States, most people don't want to talk about. They have to take it to the UK Daily Mail, you know? So I'm like, okay, let me just put it out there that this is what's going on. This might be a part of the reason why. Adriana! Like 4 a.m. there, Adriana. I'm sorry I always go. Okay, you have to watch the whole. No, don't watch the whole thing. But in the beginning, I'm like, I'm sorry that I have to go in the middle of the night for people. But I don't know if you saw yesterday, but I had to like run out and cancel real quick because my son came home from school. So I just have to do it when I'm available. I'm on a totally different schedule than the U.S. I'm like 11 hours ahead or something. I don't even know anymore. And I get really confused because my clock is still on East Coast time in the United States in my computer, but everything else is on the time here. So I get kind of confused about what time it is sometimes. Okay, let's see. Adriana says, my kids range from 32 to 20, and it's a learning game on a daily basis. Yeah. And that's, yeah. So like, I just want to be honest that although I'm exposing Lynn and I'm like, God, what a bitch, you know, I'm also like, I'm sure she did good things for her kids at times. I'm sure she made a lot of sacrifices, because even like stage moms, like they have to sacrifice to get their kids where they want them to be. But yeah, I'm not gonna like, so I started out this whole thing like looking at Britney being like, well, you know, I just want to like talk about that. Yeah, she does have mental health issues and it's really hard and I hope she's going to be okay. And I'm going to talk about like what I've seen in my line of work when I've worked as a psychiatric nurse, right? Like, yeah. Okay, so I said like I'll do all that. Oh, Adriana, real quick. So I'm doing 12 days of Christmas, and each day I'm going to pick something I really like. I think one day I'm going to talk about what one of my subs said to me, how much she really loves Prince. Sorry, that's my phone. What are they saying to me? And Adriana, I wanted to do one. If you have something that you really love, you should message me about it. This is nothing. Okay. Anyway, just go back. If you watch the thing, then you'll understand. If not, then that's okay. All right. So what was I saying? Like, I just, the point to me is like, I get that we're not perfect. But when I started this out and I was like, oh, I just think, you know, I know Britney's been through it. Like, I really wanted to expose Kevin Federline because I did understand that he was like a user, right? And I wanted to get all of that information. And you guys are going to have to hold on because constant hang up phone calls, but I'm always worried it's like my kid's school. So it was not the school though. Okay. All right. What was I going to say? Okay. So just that. Oh, I forget what I was even saying. Teresa! T! So good to see you. I hope you'll, I'm going to, I miss you. I missed my friends that I had online until my stalker destroyed all of them. Okay, anyway, what can I say? I forget what I was up to, but the whole point of it was that I was trying to say, like, I do want to be understanding that Lynn is not like the most awful person on the face of the planet, but I started all this being like, Britney has mental health issues. Like, I'm going to expose some stuff that's going on with Kevin Federline because he's a user. But when I went down the rabbit hole, I could not believe like what was going on with these people. You know, I never planned on doing a series about Lynn. Never. I thought Lynn was like the one safe person who, you know, Britney was kind of pushing away because mothers and daughters have problems. But I was like, Lynn's probably the best person for her. Now that I've seen all this shit, I'm like, no, don't go hang out with Lynn, Britney. She's going to get you into Rodan and Fields. Like, that's all she cares about, you know? I mean, she's been living, just like this woman living in this huge mansion, being taken care of for so many years. Where is all the money? You know, where is it? This is crazy. All right. I'm so glad that I got to see you guys today. This is a follow-up to the video that I made yesterday. T, maybe I will message you. Just makes me feel sad because I've been through a lot on my channel, and sometimes I'm like, should I even be here? Because of what happened to me with everything. But you guys know Katie Joy, right? Okay. So anyway, yeah, like I can't believe everything that I found out. And now, you guys, I am down the rabbit hole on so many conspiracy theories. I don't know if any of you like want to watch my Kanye West videos. I'm going to do a live about that because I'm so, not Kanye West. I'm going to do that next. What I'm doing right now is the P. Diddy videos. I am so down a rabbit hole on that. And now I'm like, I believe every conspiracy out there because it turns out that things that I thought were not possible 10 years ago when they were talking about P. Diddy, and I was like, they're exaggerating this. Like, this is ridiculous. And then you find out, no, it's all true. These men are literally having sex parties, orgies, paying money, getting everyone drugged, doing whatever they want, buying and selling people. Like, they're doing it. It's about power, money, fame. It's insanity. It's total insanity. And guess what? It was true. It all came out in court. It was true. But now the whole narrative is P. Diddy being like, well, it's not that bad. The people that did it wanted to do it. Not that bad, you know? And now we've flipped the script. We're like, okay, I guess it's not that bad. Like, we just keep getting more and more used to these people doing horrible things and finding out about Jeffrey Epstein and all these very powerful men using and abusing people. And we just become accustomed to, okay. So now when someone tells me that Britney Spears may have been murdered and they're using a doll to fake her Instagrams, I'm like, you know what? Maybe. Who knows? Oh my God. I did a series about Wendy Williams. Okay, Adriana, maybe I should do her next instead of Kanye. Yeah, I'm all over Wendy Williams. Ugh, I love Wendy Williams. I just really do. I think I could hang out with her too. I wish I could have like a Thanksgiving dinner with all these people. Okay. Oh, Dollyhood. Yeah, Wendy Williams. I did a series about her documentary that I'm gonna do more, and that was really popular. I had like 30,000 views. So I did this is so funny to me. I did a 3-part series on Wendy Williams like 2 years ago, right? Okay, it got like so many views, but it was all demonetized. So I didn't make any money on it or anything, but I was just like so happy to get it out there. And I was so grateful that people like responded to it, liked it. And a bunch of people left comments, which I really enjoy. Like, I enjoy things that they were saying. I was like, I never heard of that. And I went and looked it up. So now I could refresh and do some new videos about it. So that would be cool. Yeah, Wendy Williams is sad. Definitely T. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so Amoshi says, I'm not a big fan of Jeffree Star, but he put about the Illuminati were real. I believe. Okay, here's something else crazy. Don't hate me. I think I'm going to lose like all of my viewers, but I know there's like a couple people that will stay with me. Maybe you guys will be some of them. I know Alana will stay with me. Like Adriana, I know you'll stay with me because okay, I am okay. Like, we can totally disagree about politics, disagree about anything, and I can still love the shit out of you. I'm going to respect how you feel. I'm going to respect what you believe. That's how I am. I'm like, I always want to be middle of the road and like see everybody's perspectives, even though, when I was younger, I was so liberal and stuff. Like, I don't want to like be like, oh, just because you're different than me and you have like hyper conservative views and I don't feel that way, that I don't like you. I would never like I want to learn from you. I want to learn why you feel that way. Okay, anyway, so I never liked Candace Owens, right? Like, I never liked her because I just thought she was like super, super conservative. I don't like people who I feel like they're towing a line. Okay, because long story short, I dated someone who was like hyper involved in the political realm, and I saw that it was all a fucking game to him. You guys, it was a game. He was very successful. He was helping other people be very successful. It was a game. He was getting up and saying things and supporting people that he didn't agree with at all. He didn't believe what he was saying. It was for money. It was for power. And I was like, whoa, this is how politics work. I'm talking about like someone that I dated that was like, everyone would have thought was like an extremely conservative Republican, but at home, he was a very liberal Democrat with me, And I was just like, this is so weird. Doesn't really make sense. Well, guess what? I remember him literally saying, you go where the money takes you. And I was like, oh, that's how this game is played, right? Okay, so I've been there to see, it's on a lower level, that this is how the world works in a lot of situations, okay? Right? Got it. So with Candace Owens, I was kind of like, I was just annoyed that she's just one of those people that I was like, she's way too entrenched. Like, it wouldn't matter if you brought her facts that disputed something she was saying. She's always going to push like the agenda of conservatism and Trump and like whatever I didn't even know exactly what she was up to, but I just wasn't that interested in her. And now I'm so interested in Candace Owens. She flipped the script, and there's a lot to be said about it, because for me, it reminds me a lot of Kanye West, where like you might disagree with a lot of what they're saying and you might be like, no, that's not what's happening. But they finally are in a place where they truly believe what they're saying to you. That's the thing about Candace Owens right now. I may not agree, or I might be like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing, but she's in a place where she's like willing to go against higher powers and just be like, this is what I believe. And I truly believe that that's what she thinks. It's no longer this, like, I'm putting up a front to try to help someone get elected. Like, I really think that she's gone down the rabbit hole. This is what she believes. She's putting out all these conspiracy theories. And now I'm kind of like, oh, this is interesting. So I mean, I don't know. I just am like, okay, let's see. Let me go up. Sorry, now I have to find it. Come on. Okay. Kathara says, that's what I wanted to say. I think the boys got kind of brainwashed too. Yeah. Britney's boys, I mean, that's kind of, it sort of seems to come out in some of the videos that I made where like, definitely, okay, that is one of my number one questions about Britney, and I won't be much longer. Like, why, this is where I think it occurs to me that Lynn and Jamie didn't really care about Britney, okay? When they first put her in the conservatorship, and they knew that Kevin was drinking, drugging, like having prostitutes over to his house, and he didn't have any money, and Britney had like primary custody, and they threw those boys at Kevin. In Kevin's book, they called him and said, we're going to put Britney into Lynn called him, we're going to put Britney into a conservatorship. So you get over here and you get the boys. They threw the boys at him and just left. You know, Kevin never says like they came to my house and, you know, they tried to make sure that the boys were doing okay. Like that was so weird to me. Am I right or am I wrong? Like from my point of view, if I was involved in all this situation, let's say I was Lynn, and let's say I truly believe that Britney was having a psychotic break and needed help. Let's say all of that was in place and we need to get her in a conservatorship, we need to get her in the hospital. I would be taking those boys. I would be taking them, putting them in making sure they're safe, doing everything I can. I would take them back to Britney's house where they've been being raised. I would take care of them until she got out, and then I would help her get custody back. Like, to me, that is the weirdest part of all this. They threw those boys at Kevin Federline, literally like smoking a joint right in front of them. And they're like, take the boys in the car. Is that not like incredibly suspicious? Yeah, that's what I want to do. I Candace Owens deep dive, because I can't say like I'm totally with her and I'm definitely not totally against her, but I want to know more. I want to know more. And I'm really interested in the Emmanuel Macron thing, because I've been following that for a while, and I was like, Candace is so off. Like, I don't know why she keeps saying that his wife is a man. The real story is that his wife like groomed him and had a sexual relationship from the time he was like 18 years old, and she was 16 years old, and she was his teacher, right? But then I just find it interesting that when I went a little further down the rabbit hole, I realized that Candace actually isn't the one who came up with this theory. There's this group of people in France who are like very big on this theory. They've been following it for a long time, and they just have like so much to say. I'm not saying that they're right, but it's not like Candace just made this up. Like it was a whole thing that people were talking about. It was a conspiracy in France. Macron sued these people, and it looked like they were going to be silenced. And then the court found that they can't be silenced. They are basing what they are saying on evidence that they have. They could still be wrong. The evidence might not be conclusive, but they're not really saying it's conclusive. They're saying, look, there's a lot of questions to be asked here, you know? And I'm kind of like, I just find that really interesting. Like, what is going on? Okay, last one, Adriana. Her kids are at that age where money is all that matters for them. I totally agree. And that's where they're going. I've never heard of Kevin getting those boys an education or put money aside for the future. Totally agree. Did you see? Okay, so supposedly Britney was kind of like, you know, the boys when they went to Australia and did an interview about their mom with Kevin. And in that interview, they're like, we're really worried. We just want to be with our dad. We just feel chill here. So it was like kind of embarrassing for Britney. It was sad, right? And then Britney put something out, like a post where she was like, well, good luck, boys, because when you're 18, the money stops. And it's hard to hear that from a mom, but you can also a little bit understand like where she's coming from, and you know, it's been hard and all that. Well, did you see that when her youngest son turned 18, I think 2 months ago, he immediately flew from Hawaii, where he lives with Kevin, immediately flew from Hawaii to Britney's house. And what did she do? She bought him, I think they said $300,000 Lamborghini. And there's all these pictures of him just driving around Hollywood with some girls in that Lamborghini. She hadn't seen him in years. Okay, so he knew what was up. He knew what to do. Drove there, got the Lamborghini, and peaced out when he was 18 years old. And what do you think about that? I think like interesting, right? Interesting. And I think the kids probably love her too, but you know, they're 18 now. They got Lamborghinis from her, so they don't care. All right, guys, I got to go. It was so good. I can't even believe so many people are here. It's so good to see all of you. And I know this is a lot. I like going live to chat. And I hope to see you again soon. Look for my Christmas, like 12 days of Christmas coming up. And if you have any ideas, because like each day I want to focus on something positive that I really like. Like with the 80s day, I think I'm going to talk about all the stuff I love from the 80s, like Rainbow Bright, My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake, Lamp Before Time, movies that I love, Goonies. What are things that you love from the 80s? Back to the Future. I want to like put this all in a video where we're just like talking about it. And I think it'll be a live stream because I miss that shit so much. That'll be day 12. And then day 11 will be Prince. And then day 10 is yet to be determined. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.